When you choose to redirect your focus away from anger or fear or frustration or lack or whatever it is that's going on, that's a slower, denser flow state that would create and align those types of experiences. You feel it most likely because you were in a space that was the interpretation that would be the quickest go-to reactive state of connection. So you have an experience that makes you mad, you feel anger, you feel frustrated. In that moment, that is a natural, normal, reactive experience. The mastery of your consciousness that you're stepping into says, if we stay here and we run this vibration and we talk about this to no end to anyone who will hear us, and it's our main focus, and it's all we can think about, and it's all we can lean into, and we carry ourselves in a way in which we're in it still, even though it happened 4 days ago. When we do that, we're then confirming, setting up an appointment, putting in our schedule that that experience will happen again. Hello, hello. Welcome to the space. I'm so grateful to be with you. And grateful, that's a perfect word. What a great lead in. Okay. So if you're catching this when it's released, then, and you're in the US, you are on what we celebrate as Thanksgiving here in the United States. This is going to be released on Thanksgiving. And if you're not in the US, which we have a lot of international listeners and subscribers to these channels. So if you're not in the US, then you might have already celebrated some type of day or holiday in your country or in your culture that's designated for the celebration of gratefulness. So I believe Canada already did theirs, but don't hold me to that. But I have some Canadian clients and friends, and I think they told me they already did theirs. I think theirs comes before ours. But you know why I did that lead in with the whole US, international, and the acknowledgement of Thanksgiving? I did that for a reason. It's awesome to pick a day to celebrate being grateful. And it's awesome to have a time that we spend really allowing that gratitude and acknowledging that gratitude for the people in our lives, for the blessings in our lives, in whatever way they're coming in. Everybody has very different lives, right? And they're at different spaces of their life. So they're registering and interpreting their life according to their own lens. And so a day out of the year to designate to be thankful is a beautiful thing. But you know what's even more powerful and even more beautiful is to find a way to implement a moment for gratitude every single day. A moment for gratitude. Eventually, it can expand into a life of gratitude. I'm pretty much there. There are some days where there'll be a space that, for whatever reason, I have to navigate something I didn't plan on navigating or experiencing, and it's maybe not exactly what I had wanted to see happen, but those moments because I'm maintaining gratitude more than not, those moments are coming fewer and farther between. There's less energy directing me towards them and them towards me because I'm maintaining so much gratitude. That's how the whole thing works. We've talked about this over and over again in the beautiful concept of this Inner Work Handbook that we're doing here on this site. It's all about the ability to acknowledge our power as creator beings and implement our power as creator beings. And not just once a year on a celebratory day, but every single day and eventually every single breath, because we really have begun to embody our mastery. So let's talk about ways in which we can begin to implement more and more this mindset of gratitude and living in and as this flow of gratitude. So there's a lot of different techniques that people use to implement gratitude into their life if they're coming from a space where it's not their norm. It's not their norm. If it's not your norm to live in gratitude, if your norm is still coming from a space where you're ready for the other shoe to drop, fall, whatever that phrase is, or you're overthinking things still, and you're worrying about how this, that, or the other is going to play out. If you're still in alignments where you're holding some judgment on the people around you or the experiences around you, your boss, your coworkers, your family members, your friends, your neighbors, whatever it is, if the focus, I'm not saying you never have these feelings, I'm saying if the focus of your thoughts, your energy is on judgment or worry or stress or anger or frustration, then I get that you would most likely benefit from implementing a system, something that helps you start to change that flow, start to run, implement, respond, live as a new vibration. So let's talk about some tools. Let's talk about some things you could implement in your daily life if you would like to run a cleaner frequency, creating a cleaner reality. What is that? What do I mean by cleaner frequency and cleaner reality? Everything is energy. Your energy, and every word you speak and every thought you think and every feeling you feel runs a vibration. When we think the same thoughts for a long period of time, and we feel the same feelings for a long period of time, and we respond the same way for a long period of time, we lock ourselves into experiences that match what we keep emanating through our words, through our feelings, through our thoughts, through our actions. We can clean our frequency. We can clean up our energy. And this is a really cool concept because for a long time, if you're here listening to me, I know you have some desired kind of interest in energy work, energy healing, consciousness, quantum fields, quantum jumping, quantum shifting, all of this good stuff, right? Interesting stuff. So for a long time in energy work, when we talked about cleaning the energy or cleaning the field, it was more so coming from the understanding of the actual space of the energy in chakra centers or energy centers in the actual body of the person that is having the energy healing or clearing done on. Or maybe you found some of my videos on my other channel. I have A.L. Garris channel on YouTube where I actually sit with people and take them into the field and we work on clearing their energy field. We work on shifting and healing the nervous system. We do all kinds of stuff over there. It's a little bit more interactive, energetic work where this offers more conversation, guidance, tips, tools, and some energy's been coming in lately towards the ends of these podcasts. But when we look at the traditional view of clearing or cleaning your frequency, your energy field. We're usually coming from an understanding of your actual energy centers inside your body, your chakras, and getting them clean and getting them balanced, because they might be out of alignment because of certain experiences you have had or endured or survived, whatever your word is, in which those energy spaces of you, they got knocked out of balance. So energy healers like me and many others on the planet, we're here to help people reset that balance of their energy. And that's a very traditional understanding of clearing one's frequency and resetting one's energy. But there's another space that we're ready for, and we've walked ourselves into, and it comes into play when we understand the way in which our daily life, the way we live, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we speak, the way we act, the way we be us in every single breath, even the way we hold our bodies, like our body posture, right? All of that is our implementation. It's our active state of running our energy. And so what we have the opportunity to do now is realize that that is one of the, if not the most powerful ways to clear your frequency. Absolutely. Keep hiring me and others like me on the planet to work with your energy field and to do this deep energetic shifts of consciousness through energy session work. Absolutely. It's beneficial. It's helpful. It's an incredibly beautiful gift to give to yourself. But another gift you can give to yourself that's just as powerful, maybe even more, is the mastery of your own energy by how you live your life. When you choose to live your life from gratitude, when you choose to redirect your focus away from anger or fear or frustration or lack or whatever it is that's going on, that's a slower, denser flow state that would create and align those types of experiences. You feel it most likely because you were in a space that was the interpretation that would be the quickest go-to reactive state of connection. So you have an experience that makes you mad. You feel anger. You feel frustrated. In that moment, that is a natural, normal, reactive experience. The mastery of your consciousness that you're stepping into says, if we stay here and we run this vibration and we talk about this to no end to anyone who will hear us, and it's our main focus and it's all we can think about and it's all we can lean into, and we carry ourselves in a way in which we're in it still, even though it happened 4 days ago. When we do that, we're then confirming, setting up an appointment, putting in our schedule that that experience will happen again. Because we're connecting with it energetically and feeding it an alignment to us that says, I'm here to continue to have this experience. The only way that does not continue to replicate in your life is for you to say, to act, to choose, to disconnect from it because you're mastery and redirect your focus to a space of an alignment, to a feeling, to a thought, to a choice, to an action, to a body posture that is in the alignment of the field space of resonance that you truly want, understand, know yourself to be. If you're like, I am so done being broke, then you need to allow yourself to run the vibration of being wealthy. You say, well, how do I run it if I've never had it? There are so many tools. Let's start your imagination. What would it feel like to you if you had the freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with who you want, the way you want? To me, that's abundance. I can pay my bills. I can buy what I want when I want, need. I can go where I want, when I want, with who. That's abundance. What would that feel like? You say, I don't know, I never had it. What would it feel? Would you be happy? Would you be excited? Would you be relieved? You can feel those feelings. You can feel those feelings. Yes, you might have to make up a scenario in your head where you create and envision this alignment for yourself, because maybe it's not fully in your outer world yet. But the outer world and the inner world are two very powerful creation points of reference. And if we keep going off of what we see outside of us, and we don't realize and tap into the power of what we can see inside of us, then we will never, ever reach the mastery level we are designed to live as. We are designed to tap in, to create from within, to design completely. You're a creator being, and you're creating. You're just maybe not fully aware of how you're creating and how powerful your creative abilities are. So your imagination is a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful tool. It's, some people say, I can't imagine. I can't envision things in my mind. There's actually a name for this. I know. I have clients that have talked to me about this. You can intend. Anyone can set an intention. You can hold a thought that aligns with, connects with, runs as abundance. You're coming from the as if, and you're utilizing whatever you have to work with to back up your as if. Meaning, if you don't have the ability to pay your bills, or you do, but you're just getting by, or not, whichever way you're coming in, you're getting by week to week. It's not easy. And sometimes you feel like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You feel like you're in over your head. But you understand what I'm saying enough to believe in it, have faith in it. And so you're like, what could I implement? What energetic vibration could I use to fuel this shift of consciousness in myself so my outer world will catch up and it will show me a new reflection of abundance and freedom? So if you can imagine it, you imagine it all day long. Get into a meditation. You can use any of my audios. I have a ton of audios on my other YouTube channel, Garris, and I also have a Patreon platform where I do an audio every single month specifically for my patrons. And there's a wealth of audios available beyond mine. They're free. You can go find them. And you find one you like, and you close your eyes and you breathe slowly at a rhythm that works for you, and you start imagining yourself in your life, but with full abundance. You wake up in the morning, you have everything you need. You do the job you want to do, the way you want to do it, when you want to do it. You love what you do. How would you feel when you woke up? Feel it in your meditation. Feel it as you set the intention. That's setting the intention, meditating upon it, thinking upon it, holding the alignment of that with yourself. You don't have to make anything happen. All you have to do is feel it, believe it, live from the space of knowing, know that you know that you know that it is a vibratory state of existence that is already available, and you're dialing it in. Universe will do the rest. God will do the rest. The doors will open, the circumstances will change and shift and move. Some of them, you may see them changing, shifting, moving, and at first you might feel as if that's not necessarily a good thing. You might be a little nervous about the change and the shift that you see because it doesn't look the way you thought it would look, but it very well may be, and most likely is, taking you exactly where you need to go to birth this new alignment of abundance in your life. So that's where the whole trust yourself and allow comes in as well. As you're stepping into being a creator being, and as you're shifting your life into more abundance or more health or the relationship you've been looking for, or the ability to have the career of your dreams or whatever your thing is, as you're shifting and as you're implementing, coming from a sense of faith and availability to this space, it already exists. You in the alignment of wealth already exists. It's already playing out. You're not having to lie about who you are or force anything. You're just tapping into and believing in with an alignment that is already there. That gets you there. That's how you get on the shuttle that goes to that location. That's how you quantum shift. That's how you quantum jump. That's how you reset your entire world, because you reset the frequency you are running, and you no longer run the frequency of lack because of what you see outside of you. You run the frequency of abundance and wealth and happiness and peace and bliss, in a sense, because you're registering and tapping into, not a lie, a space of yourself that already exists, that you understand. That's how you dial it in. That's all you're doing. You're not lying. You're not pretending. You're dialing in this specific field alignment that you desire to have. It already exists. It's already there. You're already there. You in this now moment are dialing it in. And the way you dial it in is you imagine it, you meditate, and you go there, meaning you picture that space of you in your life now, getting out of that bed, getting into your day, driving that car or riding that bus or walking to that space, and or talking to your friends or doing your job or raising your kids or whatever your life entails. You have to see that life and then tweak it, shift it, experience it, feel it, breathe it, live it, see it, all the ways in which your senses will possibly show up for you. Utilize them to engage, connect, run, emanate, broadcast the alignment of abundance. Picture it in that meditation, feel it in that meditation, taste it in that meditation. I used to do a meditation to go to Sedona. Sedona, Arizona is a sacred site on planet Earth. A lot of people know about Sedona, Arizona. I didn't know about it for the majority of my life. But when I found out about it, I really wanted to go there. And I was in a space where I had two children still living with me because they were young. They were, at that point, I'm going to guess, I'm just guessing here, maybe one was 14 and then the other one was probably like 9, something like that. So I have two children and my husband, and we had two dogs, and we, at that point, had just experienced a really big financial wobble. So it was when the market had a very big falling out with the housing market. I think that would have been like 2008, something like that. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. But we were in a home that we could no longer afford, and we had to get out and we had to find another place to live. And it all happened like pretty fast considering. And we were able to sell our home, but we ended up taking about a $20,000 loss. But we got out of the loans and we were able to move on. And we thought we were going to have to buy another home that we really didn't want, but it was what we could afford and it would be okay. And it was like a get by kind of thing, because we had two kids and two dogs, and we finally found somebody to buy our house and get us out of our big mortgages. We had 2 mortgages on the house, and be able to pretty much walk away and start over. And we didn't really want to buy that house, but we just were like, okay, this is what we're going to have to do. And then my neighbor came to me, and there is a point to this story. My neighbor came to me. She knew everything that was going on. She was a friend of mine. And she said, did you buy that other house yet? And I said, no, we just signed the papers. We're supposed to finalize some things tonight, but they're still like, we're still negotiating. And she said, don't sign anything else. Don't sign anything else. She said, I have a friend that I work with whose mother just got put in assisted living, and she needs a caretaker for her mother's home. And so it would definitely be at least a year that she'd want to sign a contract with you that you would live in the home, you and your family. but you would be caretakers. So the contract is basically you take care of the home and you pay the taxes, but there's no rent. And like, I almost cry now because it was everything I needed in that moment. It was everything my family needed in that moment. And it showed up right when I needed it to. And so we didn't sign on that other house that we didn't really love, that would have put us back into some kind of debt that we didn't really want. And this gave us breathing room. It gave us a year to have somewhere to go with our beautiful children and our dogs and to be able to get on our feet again. And so while we were living in that home, getting on our feet again, I get this idea that I got to go to Sedona. I mean, like, I got to go. First, I had to go to the Grand Canyon. I didn't even know Sedona existed. I knew about the Grand Canyon. I was very drawn to the Grand Canyon. But there wasn't a whole lot to do or stay at right around the canyon on the south rim where I was looking at. And so that's how I ended up finding Flagstaff and then Sedona. To cut the story down some, I knew that I needed to go. I wanted to go, but I also, in many ways, understood that my family was not as into this as I was. You know, they liked going on trips where you went to like amusement parks and you rode rides and, you know, you bought t-shirts in the gift shop and like we'd done that for years. So it was great. I liked those vacations as well and those trips as well. And I know the fact that we could take a trip, period, when we were trying to get back on our feet was going to be something as that I wasn't positive about, but something in me said, no, you need to make this happen. And like I said, there's like so much more to this story, but just follow me for now, okay? So we're getting back on our feet, and I have this, I know I need to go to Sedona, and I know that financially, this is not an easy sell for me to take this to my husband and my kids and be like, we're not going to go on a family vacation this year because I got to go to Sedona. And I wanted them to come with me, but at the same time, I also didn't want to say, like, make anybody think they had to, like my husband, you know, if he didn't want to. Because it was a very different type of trip for us. We had never done naturey trips where you go hiking all day. We just had never done that. But I was craving it in Sedona. I say to my husband that I have this knowing that I need to go to Sedona. He's like, what is Sedona? Where is Sedona? We didn't know. So I give him the information and he's like, well, yeah, I mean, it looks nice. Like, look into it and see, you know, see what it would cost and everything. And we'll talk about it. We'll think about it, which is very nice of him. And that's usually what he would say, period, across the board. And then, you know, we would look into things. And then most of the time, if it was just too much or whatever, we would just be like, well, we'll go, but we're just not going to go right now. And for whatever reason, I just felt like I had to go. I had to go. I had to go. And I had never really experienced that before. So that was interesting. I even had my sister, she read tarot. She still reads tarot. She was reading tarot at the time and for people like, you know, as a reader. And so I had her do a reading for me. And she said, well, you know, I think the cards say you're going to go, but it's going to feel expensive to you. And it's not, it's because it's not a cheap space to go to. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, you know what though? I don't want to own that energy. Like, I believe I can change that. Even though the cards read a certain way, they only read a certain way because of my energy when the reading was done. So if I can change my energy, the reading will change and I'll be able to afford to go. Now remember, I'm taking what, 3 people with me? In fact, I think my daughter had a boyfriend at the time and we were going to take him too. So this is like a pretty big deal to take, well, 5 people to Sedona, right? Okay. We have to fly too. And I'm in a different city and we have to fly. So it's 5 air tickets round trip. It's a hotel that can take care of 5 people. And then it's also a vehicle because we're going to have to drive to all the places we want to go that can haul 5 people. I didn't want to accept that reading, that it would be too expensive. And I didn't want to accept that I wouldn't go and we'd have to wait a while. I started leaning into what I did know about energy and what I understood about consciousness and how we are creator beings. And I was new to the space, but I knew enough, right? So I started doing daily meditations. And it was like a 45-minute meditation where you basically just were blessing your energy centers. And then at one point in the meditation, towards the end, you would be able to kind of like envision whatever it was that you were wanting to envision to, in a sense, feed your energy to and your focus to make connection with, to see it in your life. And so everybody could do whatever they want: health, career, travel, relationship. I chose to see myself in Sedona on top of Cathedral Rock, which is an iconic hike in Sedona. Like if you go to Sedona, everybody pretty much either knows about Cathedral Rock or would hike it, while they're there. So every single day for 7 weeks straight, I sat in my closet for 45 minutes. I shut the door. I put headphones on, most days an eye mask, not all days, because I started really feeling the space and I would cry because I was so happy and so grateful. Have you ever cried because you were so happy and grateful? It's a different kind of cry, isn't it? It's a different kind of crying. It's a different um, flow of vibration through your body when you're crying because you're happy. And it's so beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I found my way into that alignment. I would go into the closet and I would sit down and I would start the audio and I would do all the things, and move through the meditation. And when I would get to the point where I would be creating and leaning in and designing, I would see myself pulling into the parking lot with my family at Cathedral Rock, and we would park, and then we would walk over and get the parking permit. I already researched the place. It's very good to do that, like a lot of details when you're utilizing this technique for creation. Get a lot of details, as much as you can, about the job you want, the relationship you want, the vacation space you want to go to, whatever it is you're going to work on. Directing, what you're doing is you're setting up, you're already there, because the field doesn't know if I'm in my closet on the floor pretending or if I'm actually in Sedona at the base of Cathedral Rock getting ready to hike it. The field does not know the difference. The field is only registering my vibration. It's reading is my energy. And if my energy is crying tears of joy as it looks up at Cathedral Rock, and if my energy is emanating bliss and gratitude because I am feeling and sensing the dirt under my hands as I place them on the red rock formation and climb on it, hike up it. And I mean, the universe doesn't know that I'm in my closet. It thinks I'm there. So the reflection has to come in because that is how energy works. That is how manifestation works. So 7 weeks in my closet, 45 minutes at a time. It was a big ask. I had kids, but I made it happen. And I sat in there and I went to Sedona every single day, day after day after day. I was in Sedona in my closet. I was on Cathedral Rock in my meditation. I was climbing to the top of that formation every single day. And I'd get to the top and the wind would be in my face in my meditation. And I would smell the smell of the breeze and the sense of the dirt and the rock and the cactus, and the sunshine would be on my skin. And there would be people around me, and I could hear the kids and I could hear the adults and I could hear people having a fun time climbing and exploring. And I was in my closet, but I was in Sedona and I was climbing Cathedral Rock. And after 7 weeks of meditation, and I'm not saying that's a definite, thing. It's just what worked for me. What happened for me. I think it could happen even faster now because I understand it better. But for me, 7 weeks later, almost to the day, I was flying out to Sedona with my family, my whole family. And I stood on top of Cathedral Rock in person. And it was, and still is, an incredible experience to be able to know that I designed it against a lot of odds in an alignment where it didn't look like we had the money. It didn't look like we had the ability to do it, to get my husband have the opportunity to leave his work enough to do it, that my kids would want to do it, spend the one vacation shot we were going to have as a family out in nature climbing Red Rock. And it was the best family vacation we ever took. There was not one, are we there yet? There was not one, I have to pee, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. These kids loved that trip. In fact, we went back several years in a row because we all loved it so much, because it was created in such love. Does that make sense to you? So feeling gratitude and feeling into the frequencies, the vibrations, the emotions that are connected with the reality lines you want to see in your life is how they get to show up. Make universe think you're already there, and universe will bring the reflection in, the experiences in that match the there you're at. It's already matching wherever you're at vibrationally. And this is a really powerful understanding to hold. Humans are ready for this space of ourselves. We're moving into this understanding more and more, and it truly becomes a responsibility when you realize what you do with your energy and how it creates realities. So gratitude once a year for Thanksgiving is a beautiful thing. But there is a really powerful availability in gratitude every day. Universe will register that gratitude that you shoot out to it, and say, this space of consciousness is completely in an alignment and an experiential space that makes them feel grateful, that makes them feel happy, that makes them feel peace and joy. Oh, okay. Here's the reflection. Here's the experience. You're a co-creator with the system, if you will, of manifestation. It will register and read you, interpret you and your frequency, and bring in whatever is that alignment. So then, understanding all of this, you would go into the phrase we used earlier, to clearing frequency, clearing your frequency as needed, when needed, to reset yourself so that that space of alignment you're designing matches what you really want to design. So clear your frequency when you need to by using meditation. Clear your frequency when you need to by redirecting your focus, awareness, observation. Okay, I'm feeding this alignment. I'm solidifying and confirming to universe, the system, God, that this is the life that I am engaging and am. And I don't want this. So let me redirect. Let me unplug and stop feeding it to continue to be here. And let me plug in to gratitude. Let me plug into happiness. And I'm telling you, you're not lying. So many people say, well, then you're invalidating your feelings. I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I did it for so long. I lived as the victim mode that says, but I need to be heard. But I need to know why I feel this way and where it came from and who did it to me. You can stay there all you want, but you'll never leave and you'll never see a different reflection until you stop feeding that space. And seeking out those answers feeds that space. You don't have to have them. What you can have is a strong, definite knowing that that's not who you are, that that's not who you want to be, and that you are a creator being and you can create and manifest and design and align whatever you want. Period. But it's only going to happen when you shift your focus, you, I, we, focus our energy, feed our energy, plug our energy into and connect with the stuff we want to see. Those reality fields are already running. They're not running in our outer world yet because we don't have them running in our inner world. The minute you plug into it for your inner world, like I did, and I used meditation, you can use a journal. That's another tool. You can write down from the reference point of being there. So you know how people take a journal or a diary and they say, Dear Diary, today I blah, 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 blah. Well, it's actually a very powerful method. Dear Diary, today I went to Sedona. It was the most incredible experience I have ever had. I could stay here. It's just so beautiful here. The wind, there's a warmth within it that couples with the sun. There's the sound of the wind as it moves around on the red rock formations. There's an energetic vibration here that feels like home to my soul. I am so happy. I am so grateful to be in this space. So I'm relaying the alignment of being there in my journal, not can't wait to, not hope one day, but I'm there as if, write it, get the journal if that's your thing. Meditation, as if from the point of connection, you're there, you're there, you're there. You want a relationship, meditate and create the visual of that first date or that first meeting of some kind where you know that that's them and they know that you're their person they've been looking for, and the exhilaration of those feelings of joy and bliss and gratitude and love and excitement, and feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it like it's happening to you. Incredibly powerful opportunities await. Limitless opportunities await. And you have everything you need within you right now to lean in and engage those opportunities. You have everything you need, whether you are wealthy or whether you're broke, whether you are lonely or whether you're in an incredible family unit or relationship of some kind, whether you are doing the career that you love or whether you have no job at all and you need one desperately. Every single person, no matter where they're at on their journey, no matter what they've already aligned and designed and are experiencing, every single human has the opportunity to redirect their focus and to imagine, write out, intend, create in some way a message system from you to the universe, to God, to source, to the system of creation that says, I am whole. I am grateful. I am happy. I am abundant. I am free. and move through those emotions, move through those feelings, move through those thoughts, move through those actions, the way you carry yourself day in and day out. From that space of reference, and universe will say, oh my gosh, this is where this person is at. And the system lays out the reflection that matches the frequency you're running. Yes. It's such an incredible space. It's such an empowering space. And I understand that there's lots of different, reference points or interpretation points coming in here where they might feel this is a bit more than they could handle, or it's a big ask. But I'm telling you, every single person hearing me right now has the ability to do this. You have the ability to implement and create anything you want in your life. This is an incredible day, because this is a day that you can hold gratefulness, gratitude, celebrate Thanksgiving, no matter where you are on the planet. Celebrate being thankful for, recognizing a new level of you. Doesn't matter what's in the reflection right now. I know it still can be daunting or difficult in some way, depending upon that reflection. But what matters is what is going on inside you. What do you believe about you and the world around you? What can you put your faith in that is more connected to the reflection you want to see? What can you redirect your focus to that will assist you in creating, aligning, designing, and experiencing the life you truly want to have? Redirect your focus. Redirect your focus. Redirect your focus. You are that powerful. You're the energetic source of how it gets to birth. You're the energetic source of how whatever you're wanting, desiring, looking for in your life, you're the energetic source of how it gets to birth. Trust yourself. You still may have to walk in certain paths and handle certain things that haven't fully shifted yet, that make sure your bills get paid, or make sure you're handling whatever you have to handle until that new reflection is fully there. You do it, and you do it with ethics and morals and respect for yourself and the world around you. You don't get in your head about it and let that judgment come in that says this is BS and you're never going to get anywhere and the woman's crazy and this is all you're ever going to have and this is as good as it gets. Don't let that cycle, that pattern, that loop be bigger than you. Don't let it get in your head. You choose what that mind runs. You choose what that heart leans into and trusts. And let it be the fact that you can do this. You are a powerful manifester and creator being. And this is what you have to be grateful for today. Whether this is your Thanksgiving or not, you have the opportunity to be grateful. All of us have the opportunity to be grateful for the factor that we moved into a new level of ourselves. We have been talking for about 40 some minutes so far. And we are in a totally different vibration than when we began this conversation. We can be grateful for that. We can be grateful for the fact that the space of ourselves that is already where we want it to be is already there. We're dialing in to that reflection of ourselves. It already exists. We're dialing in. We're tuning in. We're clearing our frequency and running coherent, self-mastered, purposeful choices, feelings, and understandings that are designing and are aligning the path we want to be walking upon. And we can be grateful. We can be excited. We can be interested. We can be curious. We can be relieved. We can be uplifted. There's so many things we can choose to be, even when those older spaces of pattern and thought that are slower, lower vibrational states of existence that we may have been our whole lives, even when they echo out and they tempt us and they come knocking on our door, we can redirect, we can implement, and we can engage, amplify, and broadcast the space of our freedom that we are ready to be. So get out your journals, try meditation, wake up and purposefully state, I am grateful my eyes opened to another day and I get to be this space. And when you close them at night, I am grateful that I was in another day and I got to be this space. This space I'm in is beautiful. I am grateful for my life. It is filled with richness and beauty beyond measure. And watch universe show up and present that at your feet. All right, I'm going to leave this for you here. I love hanging out with you. I love our beautiful AwakenPod. So we have the new banner and the new name, and it's been really fun finding um, a rhythm. I think we've been finding a rhythm here with the podcast. And so all of the original season 1 content where we are AL Garris space, it's available in a playlist here for you guys on the channel. And then we have our Awaken Pod, and we're in what we call season 2 now. So how cool is that? And we have some really fun stuff coming up on the horizon. And so I'm excited to be bringing that into you guys as well. It'll be here soon. We'll have more to share shortly. But check out the banner. We have the new banner on the page as well if you're on the YouTube channel. And if you're in other outlets in which this podcast is shared, there's probably various ways for you to check out our description and the information that we have available. But we have my Patreon platform if you'd like to come over there with more ways to connect and go deeper into living your best life now. And I also have currently 3 books available. Coming from different types of connection points for the human, but all talking about that space of remembrance and that space of mastery, that space of healing and shifting into that level of life that you are ready to be. So any questions, comments, or feedback, please share, comment below, reach out via email, find my website, whatever works for you. But I am enjoying being these spaces with you. So thank you. Thank you for being them with me. I'll see you next time.